Bula bula.
Bon dia, and welcome to episode 54. Our guest is an incredibly multi-talented performance artist. Through a myriad of mediums, her art speaks volumes and forces us to stop and ponder. From Egoli to Xai-Xai and back, she shows no signs of slowing down. So, please welcome to Kubhula, the exciting Carla Fonseca.
Eu não roubei coisa de ninguém, desculpa lá muito.
Há muito boato, há muita poeira nisto tudo, mas muita poeira.
Oh my God, my God, my God.
Vamos pra casa. Chorar, sou para ti teu senhora. On my knees with a dove in my hand, words quivering like I'm blues in the band. So good, let's get back like we planned. No like after like in a quicksand. Circle smoke, keep the trust, baby.
Bula bula.
Don't forget to subscribe to our mailing list to be the first to know about upcoming episodes, online events, and much more. Kubhula.com. And once again, we are back for another episode of Kubhula Online. And this is not a show. Last time I said it's a show. It's actually a podcast. You know, they told me that it's a podcast, although we're doing video and it seems like a show. But anyways, let me stop with my dad jokes and let's get straight into it. This episode, we have I always say special guest because everyone's special. But ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest, someone that is, moving waves, change maker. I could go into it for like the entire episode just doing a monologue. But we'd like to welcome this week in Kubhula, Carla Fonseca, as you know, Mantega from Batuk. I don't know if some of you have heard of it, but you should know. So welcome to Kubhula and thank you for your time. Yes.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. And you are way too kind. You're way too kind. Thanks. It's an honor. Thank you.
Sorry, yeah. We can't afford special effects yet. So we have to do them all ourselves. Exactly. and listener of the podcast too. So thank you for that as well. For listening in, and again, thanks for your time. How are you? You're in Joburg, right? At the moment.
Yeah. I'm in Joburg at the moment, and I'm good. I'm excited to chat with you guys. I think a lot of the time I feel so like detached from the scenes in Mozambique. So it was like really exciting for you guys to give me a shout and to have a conversation with you, you know?
Brilliant. I mean, we're honored, man. We're honored to actually, have you here, with us to actually talk. I think I want to start with that background you got there. Like, that's very interesting. Like, what's going on there? I mean, once you set it offline, like we don't have much like behind us. Maybe some boats.
It's a painting. It's one of my paintings actually. I'll share it with you. It's called Pasta Kandimali, and
okay,
you look at it over here. It's a guy.
Oh, wow.
It's a guy with a lot of money in his hands, and he's trapped in a big, like, anaconda.
Got it now. Pasta Kandimani.
Yeah,
okay,
so,
got it.
And it's basically just like commentary on, these pastors who love money. And
I think in a lot of my work, whether it be music or theater or film or paintings, I like to address like serious issues or issues that like play on my mind. And so these like institutions that kind of abuse people's desperation is one of the things. I'm spiritual. I have, I believe in God, but I don't believe in like abusive structures that take advantage of people. So that's what the painting is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I mean, I actually wanted to, I think the best way of putting it is like maybe starting from, because you were born in Mozambique, if I'm correct, or you grew up in Joburg, or have I got that completely wrong? Let's start from the beginning. Like what, because for me, like what I'm curious to know is you grew up in South Africa, but then you have, Mozambican roots. Just like how's your...
My history.
Like let's start there, because I think that's something that I'm curious to know, because I can't, find that anywhere, at least like on the interweb, as they say it.
Sure.
So I'm curious to know about that story.
My father's Mozambican and my mother's South African. I was born in South Africa, and then we moved to Mozambique. We moved to Xai-Xai and lived in Xai-Xai for...
That's where my family's from. That's where my family's from. Shishavas, man. Gaza, Friends of mine make fun of me because, that's a long story.
Okay.
Sorry to
Those
interrupt.
Friends. So I moved to Xai-Xai, stayed in Xai-Xai for a number of years, and then I moved to South Africa for... my parents split, but the plan was apparently always for me to come to South Africa to go to school anyway, because of quote unquote better education at the time. And then I just stayed. I stayed, but I was always back and forth during school holidays or whenever I could to go to see my dad, because I'm one of 8 siblings. So all my brothers and sisters are in Maputo. And so it was like family and, going back and forth. But I just lived in Joburg most of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's amazing about Joburg is that you have also a big Portuguese community, Portuguese speaking.
Massive.
Which is, over the years, massive. I mean, even have festivals like Lucito Land, to name one of them. I don't know what's happened to that. COVID, obviously. So it's such a rich sort of community as well, and also connected community. So also growing up in Joburg, I'm sure you managed to still speak Portuguese, right?
Totally, but at the same time, I lost a lot of it because a lot of my family on this side is South African, and so practice makes perfect. And then the problem is, then I'd go back to Maputo, and then I'd be like, oh no, tenho vergonha de falar, like, oh, I just, and then my family in Mozambique would be like, it's cool, you don't have to speak. And so I was, then you lose it. But I understand. And when I'm confident and when I've had a lot to drink, then I speak very, very easily. Then it just flows.
That works for any language, right? You think like all these languages once you drink and stuff. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Eu ouvi algumas das tuas músicas. A Carla nunca tinha ouvido antes, I have to be honest. O Age mandou-me alguns links e para fazer o prep para isto, uma pesquisa que apareceu um monte de content. Eu nem sei como é que tu consegues criar aquele content todo, desde music, film, paintings, fotos, so much stuff. E para além de ser muito, o que já é amazing, é tipo, é maninho qualidade também, não é something that is just putting out stuff, não é? Which is amazing, by the way. Eu não sei como é que consegues fazer isso. We struggle só para fazer este nosso small little podcast. Nós sofremos tanto.
We're smiling, but we're crying behind these microphones.
No, come on.
Mas notei, agora que estavas a falar do português e do inglês, notei que em algumas tuas músicas tu cantas em português, não é? Tem algumas palavras em português, não é?
Yeah. It was important for me. So the first album, Batuk album, Música da Terra, was myself and Spoek Mathambo. It was we had this conversation about. It was during like xenophobic attacks in South Africa, and we had this conversation about, you know, like it always fueled me with so much anger because sometimes South Africans would, in conversation, slip and be very xenophobic. And I'll say, hey, man, fuck, I'm Mozambican. Like, the hell, you can't be xenophobic. Like, my family, like, you know. And so then I was having this, like, conversation about Pan-African, just like Pan-Africanness, and trying to make an album that speaks about my Pan-Africanness and speaks against xenophobia. So we collaborated with a lot of other artists from different parts of the continent in that album, but it was important for me to try to connect to my language, connect to my roots, and even, you know, like upon reflecting, like now listening back, some of the grammar, some of it's like, whoa, I'm like, whoa, but I was ballsy and I just did it, you know. I was like, fuck it, this the way I'm gonna do it, you know. And the thing is, there were Brazilians who understood, you know, who were Angolans who understood, and that was the point, was just to like connect to the diaspora and to be just proudly Mozambican, no matter if my Portuguese is like half-ass. I am just, you know, I'm just gonna claim it and do it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and you guys have so it's like Música da Terra, right?
Yeah.
And Kasi Royalty.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. It was 2018, I think. 2017.
2017.
But 2018. Oh, is it? Okay. And you know what's interesting for me is because you're talking about how, you know, you're using a lot of the Portuguese, like you identify yourself with that, and I think that's great. But what I found interesting as well is how, like, the dynamic between you and Spoek Mathambo. So anyone listening to this and doesn't know who Spoek Mathambo is, should Google Spoek Mathambo, and you know, you can find
and slap
lots
yourself
about
for not
him.
knowing.
But he is, you know, when I started. Oh, man.
Não, eu já sei porque o Age, eu sei porque o Age disse.
But that's a skit. So Spoek Mathambo, so I was saying when I started out in South Africa, like 2006, sort of like doing my own thing, like rapping and all of that. And one of the first names that, you know, people would tell me about was like Spoek Mathambo. And the reason why they would tell me about Spoek Mathambo was because of how he kept it original. So what I mean by keeping it original is like he, like, since day one has been about like township culture, has been about, you know, talking about the stories from homeland. Not not having, and I admit, like me, I was like, American hip hop, man. Like,
Sure.
yeah, yo, hey,
Sure,
yo,
sure,
hey,
sure,
hippie,
sure.
yo, yay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was my shit.
Yeah.
So it's massive respect to someone that was doing that even in like early 2000s. Because
Exactly.
he's been, in the game for like
long.
for a long time, and highly respected. So what I would love to know is like, how did you two, like, because you both work together creatively as well, right? And obviously you guys created Batuk and all of that, but you guys are also doing whole type of other things, movies.
Yeah.
You guys are doing scores as well, art, like Marcy said, it's just this entire creative empire, if I call it that. Like, how did that come about between you two?
So before I even imagined that I was going to do music, I'm a storyteller, and I went to university to study theater, to study acting, and I studied performance, and when I graduated, I was making my own plays, made my own shows, which I directed and acted in. And I invited him we kind of knew one another. We were friends, and I invited him to one of my plays. And in the play, I played, I think, like 8 different characters. And then he said to me after the show, he was like, "Hey, man."
Like Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was like, "Yo, that's pretty versatile. I'm going to studio with Ero Maniello this weekend. Do you want to come through and just like play on the mic?" I think I sang in the play or something. I can't remember, but and then I went to studio with him. And we recorded a few tracks, and then about a month later, he messaged me and he was like, "So what's the name of our group?" I was like, "What?" He's like, yeah, we're gonna put this music out. What's the name of our group? And we just decided, because there was a lot of drum music, Batuk, but to spell it like Batuk. So I was immediately engaged in the music, but my primary love is storytelling, is theater, is film. And so I never wanted to let go of that. And because he has made a documentary before, Future Sounds of Mzanzi. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll send you a link if you
I've
haven't.
seen it, yeah.
But
it's really good. It's good.
But so then his knowledge of filmmaking and music, my knowledge of filmmaking and theater making, we kind of just decided to, like, because we're partners now, we're like romantic partners, we're engaged, and through our relationship, we decided to just build this kind of company that makes the things that we love to make. And to when I have a concept for a film, for example, is to then work it and maybe create scores to score the music and to kind of build the structure that will allow us to do the things ourselves independently, because it's so fucking difficult, man. It's so, like, as an artist to, like you said, how do you do these things? How do you do it well? It's really hard. It's really hard. It just takes like a lot of discipline, like a small amount of sleep, and years and years and years of practice. And then to build your team. So if you're building your team of like people who I suck at doing this, but this person's excellent at doing this. Let's come together and build these things for one another. Because if we're going to rely on certain structures to help us, it just it's proven. In my life, it's proven that I can't rely on certain systems or structures to help me put on the shows that I want to put on, or the plays that I want to put on, or the films that I want to make, I mean, I don't know how it is in Mozambique in the in like the entertainment industry, or the how are the artists, young filmmakers, for example, how do they find it? How do they find it? Making films.
Yeah, there's a lot of, so first things first. I mean, I think here in Mozambique, there's a lot of, the talent pool is massive. From people that I've worked with to people I still want to work with, from vast range, from kids starting out, with a cell phone and doing movies on a cell phone, which I find amazing, because it doesn't matter what you use, it's how, it's the idea, it's the, like you were saying, storytellers. We've got a lot of storytellers in Mozambique. I think that the support from people consuming like the work is growing more and more like every year. I don't know if there's also these youngsters that started. It's a Maputo Cinema Festival, which was supposed to actually happen in 2020.
Oh, damn.
And I think that they're trying to revive it and to make it happen maybe this year or even next year. So there's in terms of filmmakers and that, more and more what I see and what's great is that there's more of these kids that are starting out and actually just using whatever they have and just making it happen, which I think is such a great thing.
I suppose that's what's great that technology has now allowed us to, now we have these phones that can shoot films, that can record music, that can make beats or whatever. So that's what's great.
Yeah. And it's the same with music. Lots of beat makers. I mean, from what I heard, I mean, we good friends with El Putu, who's, one of Mozambique's best producers, and talking to him the other day, and he was saying that, man, there's just kids that send him stuff and he listens to it, and it's like it's crazy. Like and these are people from all over the country, right? You would think Maputo has always had this thing of like, Maputo's Maputo, right? But it's amazing to hear things that are happening like out there. Have you been back to Gaza? Because you guys have been filming some music videos. You filmed a couple of music videos in Mozambique, right?
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Yeah.
And do you come back constantly and do you visit?
Yeah, absolutely. Damn.
Yeah.
I can't. I go through withdrawals.
Especially Gaza, not Maputo.
No. I don't go to Gaza.
Maputo's like posh.
I don't go to Gaza. All my dad lives in Matala, and my brother lives in Matala. My other siblings live in Maputo, so I don't really go there much. But I love Nyamban, so I try to go there as well. To be there, because it's just paradise, and going there I just feel like when I come back I'm like fresh and ready for whatever again.
Tu agora falaste do teu irmão, Carla, e para quem não sabe, o irmão da Carla é o Mickey Fonseca. O grande Mickey Fonseca. do filme Resgate. Do filme Resgate. Não, só queria perguntar, porque sendo alguém, teu irmão, obviously, e sendo alguém que também trabalha e faz o mesmo, e vocês partilham a mesma paixão, how proud were you of his achievements?
Man, just so proud. So proud, so emotional. It's really exciting. It's because I think I had the privilege of reading the script, when he just finished writing it, and he was like, hey, Pooks, or he calls me Pooks. So he's like, hey, Pooks, just read the script. Let me know what you think, and so to see it from just hearing him talk about it to then going on different festivals and being just being one of the pride. I just loved seeing the pride, there in Maputo at the cinema, and just the people, and it was just very proud. I can go on and on.
I mean, I guess it runs in the family because you've also got. You and Spoek directed a film in just before COVID.
Yeah,
I think it was
Burkina
2019.
Faso. Yeah, we shot it in Burkina Faso.
Yeah, and you shot it in Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce the name of the movie? Porque eu sei que é
Burkinabe.
Burkinabe.
Yeah.
All right. Burkinabe. I mean, I guess it runs in the family, right? Directing and that. I mean, and you also were in the movie as well. Like not only directed, but also acting.
O filme, quando é que foi? Foi 2019, mas vocês filmaram quando? Em 2019?
No, we shot it in 2017. And then we edited for 2 years. And then we premiered in 2019.
Ah, ok. Porque eu ia dizer, porque senão o teu cabelo grows really fast.
No. Yeah. Oh man, it was. I mean, I did it because the love of storytelling and everything. You know, like shave my hair, playing this new character and everything. But damn, I'm very happy to have hair again.
and we see that you're still writing because we stalked your Instagram and I see that you've written something new.
Yeah.
Mieta, right?
Mita.
Okay.
Mita. Okay.
Mita,
Right.
yeah.
Podemos saber
Care to
what
give
is
us
it
some
about?
Kubhula exclusives here or not? Really,
Hell yeah, why not?
I'm trying here.
It's it's a film that I've been wanting to write for many, many years. I'm not going to give too much information, but it is
Totally understand.
It is it's based on the life story of my aunt in South Africa who was adopted into my family, and she was a child farm laborer. So she used to work on the farms as a kid, just like a chain smoker by the age of 6, just like hard knuckles, bunions, cracked heels. And it's basically her life story of what she was going through living as a child laborer in the 60s in like the height of apartheid South Africa. And I think it's an important story to tell because, like the stories about our liberations, whether it be Mozambique or South Africa, they get told, but they always get told through the gaze of the liberation heroes, the Nelson Mandelas, the Samora Machels, and whatever. But what about our parents? What about our grandparents? They are, the unspoken liberation heroes. They are also part of the struggle, and there were so many sacrifices that were made. And so, my aim is to tell the story through the eyes of a child. The apartheid story through the eyes of a child who was a farm laborer. Yeah. And so I finished the script and in conversations with producers now. So we'll see. Because the first film, Burkinabe was shot with like coins. We literally counted our coins.
Put everything you could together.
That's why it took 2 years to edit because
lots of noodles.
Yeah,
eating lots of noodles.
So much. Some days just sugar water, man. I'm exaggerating, but it was like, exactly. You have to just kind of take the leap. But I'm done with that. That was way too much of a struggle. I'm going to wait until the money is enough to make this film, because I think, there were a lot of great lessons that were learned, And I think I encourage all artists, whether you be a musician, a filmmaker, whatever it is, to do things with your chum change, to really like try and push the limits, push the boundaries in order to have something. Because I can't ask for like $1 million to make a film if I've never made a film before, So I have to like make a film, sell my shoes to make the film, whatever, and then kind of like build my my own credibility.
Yeah, and build your credibility, and also build your skills.
Yeah,
because I'm sure it's always a learning experience, at least with anything in that artistic creative world. Every project, there's always something you can take away from, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's the film, and I'll share more with you guys at a later stage when it's closer to finish.
That's amazing. And like shit, it's really looking forward to seeing what comes off that, especially that you explained a little bit about what the story.
Thank you.
What the story would be.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Kubhula exclusive. Yes, you heard it here first.
No, really.
Sorry, we're trying to get sponsors and stuff. So like we're trying here today.
We should keep sipping.
Just putting it out there.
Keep sipping water throughout, so that they can see that there's an opportunity.
It can be branded water. You can have your brand here. But Carla, how did for you guys creating the music group and that, like performing live, which is always something I ask people that are, in the creative scene, like, obviously, I can ask you the question that everyone knows. It's been a tough year, especially in the art sort of like world.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we were talking offline about like how COVID, I was explaining about how my family like managed to get together and actually, spend time together, which is something that I can't take for granted, especially during these times. How has it been for you guys with not having shows, or are you doing the digital live thing, or you stopped it all, or is that not something that you guys would consider?
I think it definitely was a huge adjustment, a huge knock, like last year, because we had bookings lined up. And you also make these like financial plans, and you understand, okay, you book from this time to this time, this, you have these contracts. But then it all just like gets ripped out, like a rug from under your feet. And then you have to figure out, like, okay, what am I doing? And it was really, really scary and stressful. But then the digital platforms, etc. But we did initially in the beginning, but like we said about like how COVID, in many ways, was also like, no, I can't say COVID was a blessing. I'm saying the pandemic, the stillness of it, in many ways brought people together, brought people closer. So families spent more time together or whatever, there was a lot more intimacy with like people that you're close with. And it also allowed for me and Spoek separately to work on the projects that we've been wanting to work on but haven't had the time to work on. So this still period has allowed us to work on the things that we haven't been able to do. So to write the film, for example, I had more time to do that. But, the bills don't pay themselves. So obviously you have to do the digital and do whatever you can to make that possible. But part of our business structure is to license our music for adverts, for films, for series. And we then decided, you know what, we're going to focus on building a catalog. So making more music, but not necessarily to release as Batuk or release as Mathambo, just to add to our catalog, so that if a fragrance commercial wants something like jazzy or whatever, we have a catalog with that kind of music to then just push our publishing company. And and I think that's
actually great advice.
I think a lot of musicians,
especially this side,
I think a lot of musicians need to realize that it's not so much like, especially if you're not going to be on stage, where, you know, live performances, that's what pays, because now in this digital age, you're getting paid like 0.4 cents per play. So you need, like, you're getting nothing. So you need like millions of streams to make even a dent. So the money's not in, and unless you're like the super popular person who's on Instagram, an influencer who can also get sponsored for whatever, I would recommend as a musician to realize that the business is much bigger than just your image and whatever. You can actually archive your works and sell them as like products to films, to these companies that, you know, require scores. Especially now in the digital.
Because one of the things that I see here in Moz, and, you know, again, people listening to this, I don't know, I don't have all the answers. These are just my observations. So I have to say that. But one thing I've noticed is that, like, in Moz, like, they tend to use a lot of music that is either, you know, not from Mozambique, you know, either from abroad and all of that. And some of that music is also, again, not even licensed at all. So it's also like maybe it's an institutional change that needs to happen, and I know that there's also a lot of producers here that would want to have opportunities like that to actually, you know, they're creators. So what they do is, you know, they're musicians, they create music, and like you said, a lot of it might not be under your brand, you know, in terms of you actually performing it or whatever, but it could suit another brand, you know, and it's going like, flip, that's actually the sound for that brand, you know, it could be the sound for that brand, or and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think with a little bit of time that could change with and it all starts with, you know, that sort of corporate structures and people that work in the marketing divisions for agencies.
Sure, exactly.
Telling, you know, brands
the
that,
knowledge.
You know, there's this option, your own music, make it, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like put it in folders, different, you know, like have a catalogue. Then you could just walk into an office and be like, hey,
Tu falaste agora, Carla, do Stillness of COVID e que deu para avançar em alguns projetos, como, por exemplo, o teu script. Falaste agora também do building the catalog for your record label e publishing company. O Bubblegum Club também é um produto disso, ou já é algo que já vinha há mais tempo? Ou tu não tens nada a ver com isso?
I have nothing to do with it. Bubblegum Club?
Okay.
No, it's a friend of mine who runs Bubblegum Club. I was on the cover of it, I think 2 years ago, but I don't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a great platform.
Yeah, it is.
Eu estive a espreitar um bocadinho também, achei a maninha interessante, por acaso.
They should have more of that in Moz. Are there like platforms like that? I mean, obviously there are a lot of platforms, but I just mean like magazine style, digital magazine style features and.
I think, Go. You want me to answer? Do you want me to answer? No, you go
por
ahead.
exemplo, vocês também estavam agora a falar o que é que as pessoas podem fazer aqui no mercado da música e agora com a pergunta da Carla acerca desse tipo de plataformas. Do you guys think there's really a market for all of that em Moçambique? Por exemplo, não podemos comparar, obviamente, África do Sul com Moçambique, não é? Não podemos comparar o poder de compra, o número de empresas, a demand é completamente diferente. Até, acho que nem conseguimos comparar Joburg itself com Moçambique todo, não é? Então, é um bocadinho... Não será um bocadinho unrealistic também estar a exigir isso das nossas pessoas e dos nossos people? Não estou... I'm just being the devil's advocate, não é?
That's a great observation, and I agree.
Porque tu podes criar um catalogue gigante, cheio de qualidade, mas para quem, não é? E se não tens pessoas que acreditem nisso e não tens um mercado também publicitário que acredite também seja muito dos consumidores, não é? Desses catalogs, se não tens uma indústria de filme e movies que também gigantesca. Então, nada consegue acontecer num vácuo, não é? Basically, é preciso esses componentes todos por volta, é preciso esses inputs todos, não é? Essas, talvez, esses alicerces, essas bases todas para uma indústria conseguir build on top of it.
Yeah.
And I think it will happen. It's going to take time, mas it's a great observation. And it's why I was saying that, it all starts with those institutions high up, and it might have to do with like change of personnel. You're getting a lot of youngsters that are more educated that are starting to fill certain positions, and some that have been educated abroad. If we look at our generation, a lot of us studied abroad and coming back and either starting your own businesses. I mean, flip, the amount of agencies now just in Maputo alone is massive, from small little ones to, the big giant ones. I'm not going to mention any names because it's free advertising. But there's such a wide range of and it wasn't this way 10 years ago,
Yeah.
And what's great about that is that all of these different ones, even filmmakers, even Marcio, I mean, we've spoken to many filmmakers over the past year, and there's a lot of them starting to, invest in their own gear, starting to make their own identity as they're getting work. And what's great is that a lot of clients as well are starting to realize, there's actually more options now. There's a lot more than before where you just go to like one or two guys or that sort of thing. So I think it will take time, but I think it was like that also in South Africa once upon a time.
Yeah, e como tu estás a dizer agora, usando isso que tu disseste também, é verdade que as pessoas também têm que haver sempre os trailblazers, né? Tem que haver aqueles que vão à frente e que daqui a 10 anos podemos olhar para alguém e ver que, ok, teve sorte or whatever, but we don't see the amount of work that they've been putting in.
Yeah.
The hard work.
For the last 10 years,
porque também, apesar de a indústria ser bem mais pequenina, isso também pode significar mais oportunidade ou mais espaço para tu cresceres e desenvolveres, sem teres big sharks, sem teres tanta competição e poderes, não é? Teres mais espaço de manobra, basically. Então,
What is the Instagram influencer situation?
The reason we're laughing is because we've got some opinions on that. So I'm not crying, people. It's just.
Olha,
I'm just loving how you both just burst out laughing. It was like.
In a very unbiased way of looking at this, eu acho que nos últimos anos, apesar de eu não estar on social, but não é? I take my sneak peeks from time to time.
You are some sort of way.
Yeah, in some sort of way, yes. Então, acredito sim que isto esteja a desenvolver muito. Existe muito mais gente, existem muito mais empresas e a entrarem, taking advantage of this social of social platforms, em usar é um termo mau.
But it is. It kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. In English, it's like making use, so it doesn't usar in Portuguese.
Okay.
Usar de uma maneira boa.
Okay.
Yeah, usar de uma maneira boa as pessoas, porque já tens pessoal com muitos followers, com muito engagement, que é o que mais importa, não é? Com muito engagement, que I think they're making quite a bit of money out of it.
Yeah.
Mas também tens muito, mas é como tudo, né? Também tens muitos que são os influencers que não influenciam nada. Basically.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Tu és uma influencer, Carla?
No.
No?
No, I don't.
Right answer.
Não, porque de todas as pessoas, tipo,
influencers shouldn't call themselves influencers. Let's just put it. That's how I feel.
No.
Influencers shouldn't be calling themselves. I'm sorry, like influencers shouldn't be calling themselves influencers. I said it. Like, it's true. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, I guess.
You should just be doing you. You should just be whatever it is that you do.
It's such a weird term.
It's such a weird term,
people.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so cocky and it's so like influence. Like
I influenced my domestic worker today to make some beans on toast, and she made it great.
Yeah.
I influenced her.
There we go. You're an influencer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Influencer.
Yeah, I'm not interested in influencing people. I don't get influenced by people. I don't think. I think I get inspired by people, motivated by their work, but I don't think like influence, I don't know. But I guess maybe we all get influenced in one way or another.
Yeah, I blame the Kardashians. It's always the Kardashians' fault. For everything.
For everything.
They took Kanye.
Oh, man. Kanye took himself out, man.
Carla, speaking of Instagram, I mean, you are on Instagram. Batuk's music is on BandCamp as well. Are you guys on iTunes as well? I actually followed the BandCamp link. I didn't check if you guys are on iTunes.
I believe in BandCamp. I believe in BandCamp very much. But yes, on everything, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, everything.
He slapped himself again.
Okay, BandCamp. Come on.
So BandCamp is a music platform where you actually buy the music. You buy and you own the music. So much like when we used to walk into a CD shop, buy a cassette, buy a CD, buy a vinyl, you're buying the digital album or digital song, and you will always have it. Not like Spotify, where if you don't pay and if you don't have Wi-Fi or iTunes, then you can't play the music. So if you buy it from BandCamp, and BandCamp also gives the artist the money, whereas Spotify charges, it's like they pay peanuts. I mean,
they still take their percentage.
Yeah, I mean, there are major artists who make like 1 million plays a day who don't have their music on Spotify because it pays so badly, So never mind.
Isn't
like
Taylor Swift one of them?
Swift
is
one of
Spotify? Is she one?
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the biggest artists in the world. And she's off of Spotify because she says she doesn't make money. So how on earth is Batuk gonna make any money if fucking Taylor Swift is, I mean, there's no chance. There's no chance. So that's why we always promote BandCamp, not just for us, but just to generally get people's heads around I don't want to say old school way, but the most supportive way. And that way you also just own the music for life. You're buying music. And it's the price of a cocktail. Like, people go and buy cocktails just buy the album and own the music.
Yeah. Olha, tá aí mais uma ideia para alguém de cá poder fazer. Porque é isso, não é preciso inventar nada. A roda já foi inventada, os sistemas já estão todos montados.
Yeah.
You just have to look at and use it. E adaptar já à realidade do teu país e à tua indústria. That's it.
Exactly.
Sounds so simple.
But is it? Yeah, for sure.
So Carla, I mean, is you guys again BandCamp and that, and also, I mean, we didn't really get into it, but also like your art, is it available to purchase? Like, where can people check it out?
It's
online.
It's on Artsy. So Artsy is like the global. It's like one of the major top art platforms. Where different galleries and different artists basically put up their work. And it's worked a lot during this pandemic because a lot of art fairs and gallery shows have been closed. So collectors will go on there and look, and, if they want to see some Mozambican artists, they can literally search there and see, or if they're looking for a specific artist. So we have a platform on there. And then some people have contacted us through Instagram. And we've made some sales through there as well.
Yeah, we'll put up links for people to check it out.
E como é que as pessoas fazem para ver o Burkinabe? Como é que se vê? Yeah. Eu consegui ver os trailers and it looks amazing, altamente. Mas agora o filme, how do you do it? Porque eu também estava naquela, eu não vou piratear isto. Né?
So I'm going to send Kubhula a private link and you guys will be able to watch it. The reason why it's not available... I know I will. I'll send it to
Everyone
you.
listening to this like, yo, what up?
Well, the thing is... Sorry, guys. The thing is, it's also another thing that we've been able to license. So we also use the film as an opportunity to license to certain companies.
Companies overseas as well?
So what we've managed to do so far is a lot of universities and film schools on the African continent. And then like the Goethe Institute globally, has also like bought the license, and
they supported that movie.
They supported it,
right?
But the great thing is that as part of our contract, we own all the rights to it. So in order for them to use it in all of their institutions around the world, they had to then buy it from us, license it from us. And I think, of course, we want to share it with everybody, but it's just another opportunity to not let art abuse you, like make the art, but then also make a living from it, and not just, make art and then have it free for everybody, be like a struggling artist because you want to share your product with the world.
Yeah. And I think that's something, I think in conclusion from my side, I think that's something that is such a, I think more for us, this side in Mozambique, and I completely agree with what Marcy said, it's a different struggle for us, look at, and I'm not saying that in South Africa it's not a struggle, because like I said it offline, we have a lot of common friends. And, the struggle is also real in South Africa. The struggle is also real in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we will. We won't name drop. But even, I have friends in Nigeria and they also like, everyone has their own, every country has their own sort of limitations, has their own struggles and so forth, especially in the arts and the creative scenes. And I think in Mars, at least, like I think in a lot of cases as well, we still discovering, we know our limitations, but we also still discovering a lot more things about those limitations, about what can be done. And like Marcy said, there's always going to be some trailblazers that are going to come out of that struggle, that are going to lead the way, and that are going to, you know, they're also not perfect, not going to be perfect.
For damn sure.
But at least what they do can inspire, you know, 10 people.
Yeah, they're going to open so many doors.
Another 10, another 10.
Open so many doors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think like looking at what you've done, at least like what's really inspiring is the fact that what I really liked in this conversation is the fact that you're also looking at this, not just, yes, you are creative and that's brilliant, but this is business, yo.
It has to be,
you know,
man.
This is
it has to be.
This is your life, you know? And I think that's also a certain discipline that a lot of us this side have to learn in that arts and creative scene. We have to still learn about, you know, hey, this esta maquete aqui, you know, it's not for free. You know, we gotta find ways of how can we, you know, get the most value out of this maquette that cost us, like you said, those coins and those, you know, selling my shoes and selling that in order to have studio time, in order to rent a camera, you know, and all of these things. That's the kind of attitude that we've got to have.
And I think hard knocks will teach you that as well. You know, it's not like I always knew, you know, I definitely had to learn the hard way before realizing, oh shit, no, wait, I can sell these things. I can do this. I can do that. You know, I can structure it like a business, and I'm not just passionate about art, you know, but it took a while to learn, but it definitely is something that I'd recommend.
Yeah, it's part of the growth, part of the journey. Yeah. Carla, any last words? That sounds bad, though. Your last words? No. Yeah, I know. I thought about that after I said it. I was like, no.
Oh, man, are you predicting something?
No, the hell no.
No. Any last words? Any last words for the first
inspirational
meeting that we were having?
Any inspirational quotes? No, I won't say that either, because inspirational quotes is not something that a certain someone in this chat likes.
Oh, really?
So inspirational quotes is not Marcy's thing.
Okay.
But let me do that again. That's like my rewind thing. I was going to say it again. Any last words? No. Any sort of
let me help you out. Any final thoughts? No.
There we go. There we go. Thank you, sir. Any final thoughts? I know I've butchered that one. I've butchered so much.
Damn, guys. I firstly just want to say, like...
Any other things coming out, that you want to mention as well, or things to look out for that we haven't mentioned yet?
No, I think... No. I think I like to be ready when I'm going to share. So I will definitely share when I'm ready. That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
I don't disappoint you, and I don't disappoint myself as well, you know? But I do want to say my what was your choice of words? My final thoughts. My final thoughts is that I really, really enjoy this platform. I checked you guys out, and I think there's so much need for conversations, new thoughts, people meeting for the first time and sharing, you know, views and just engaging and like, I really, really appreciate it. I enjoyed it, but I also enjoy listening and watching. And I think that there's a huge demand for it. And I really, really respect and love what you guys are doing. And I am a supporter, 100%.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual.
Yeah. Thank you.
We also love what you're doing as well. And thank you. That means a lot to us. And like I said at the beginning, there's tears behind this microphone because of all the editing and stuff that we have to do. But we really appreciate the support, and that, you know, from what you're saying, and that also goes to everyone that listens to this every week, or, you know, some people are still catching up to some episodes, and that's also fine as well. You know, this is the whole point of this, is that you consume in your own time. It's not radio, it's not TV. You know, you can go and have it on demand whenever you like, whenever you have free time, or washing the dishes or whatever it is. So what's also great is that a lot of, from a podcasting point of view, a lot of people in Mozambique are still getting used to, you know, what is a podcast and, you know, just that. What is a podcast? So you guys are also
the ones who are carving the way.
You know, if we help create 10 to 100 podcasts, you know, that actually would make all of us happy more than anything. That'll make all the edits that we do worth it, because at least other people are, again, using their own platform, creating their own platform to do storytelling, or whatever it is, to communicate or to have conversations. Then, you know, we've done our job. If 10 to 100 start being inspired by this, then that's achieved. That's success for us. You know,
I love that. No, really, congrats. And the next time I'm in Maputo, then, you know, we have to meet up.
Yeah,
you need to come pop by the studio. You need to pop by the studio. Hopefully the studio will be running again. You know, we had to shut it down because the cases were getting hectic this side. But it'll open again, and we can.
Há sempre álcool no estúdio também, so vamos falar português, so it's fine.
Okay, great. Nice.
But Carla, thank you so much, and we're gonna look forward to hearing a lot from you, and people that are listening to this for the first time at least got a glimpse about, like, what, you know, in this hour, about what you're doing. And we hope that when you're in Maputo, we can, you know, continue the conversation. And you know, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we out.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. So nice to meet you.